Now, one of the things that we love doing on this channel is history, especially presidential history. We're in Key West, Florida right now, and this is the Harry S. Truman Little White House Museum, National Register of Historic Places. But I love me some presidents, so let's go in and check this place out. Here we are. This is a very beautiful area here. There's a little bit of information here. It says the Little White House. Built in 1890 as quarters for Navy officers, the Little White House later was used by American presidents William Howard Taft, Harry S. Truman, Dwight Eisenhower, JFK, Jimmy Carter, and Bill Clinton. It says Truman used the facility as a vacation home and functioning White House between 1946 between 1946 and 1952. National legislation was drafted and official government business was conducted daily from this site. Perhaps the most important of these actions occurred on December 5, 1951, when Truman enacted a civil rights executive order requiring federal contractors to hire minorities. The House is considered the birthplace of the U.S. Department of Defense and the U.S. Air Force as a result of the Key West Accords of 1948. President Eisenhower used the site in 1956 while recuperating from a heart attack. In 1961, the House was used as a venue for a summit between President Kennedy and British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan during the Bay of Pigs incident. Kennedy returned in 1962 after the Cuban Missile Crisis. Secretary of State Colin Powell and foreign leaders held an international summit here in 2001. The Little White House is listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1974.
After smoked candles and another cigarette, imagine that. The room we're in was a smaller outdoor porch. As part of the renovation in '49, they made it bigger and enclosed it, creating what we call the poker porch. Poker porch is my favorite part of the house. There's the poker table in the bar. And Harry came to the bar each morning. First thing in the morning, light breakfast in the dining room. Then he'd come here and a glass of that old granddad bourbon, followed up with a big glass of fresh squeezed Florida orange. But it's not what you think. Harry had what we call today mild heart arrhythmia. Doctor said he needed a blood thinner and something to get his heart started in the morning. He had a prescription for bourbon. One in the morning and one at night. The one in the morning was his heart starter. Key West heart starter. He would have that, take a very brisk 2-mile walk, 120 paces a minute, his marching pace from the Army during World War I. Went to a place called Truman's Beach and he would take a morning swim. Now I think that sounds like a great way to start a day in Key West. I told the boss, I am going to be the most authentic tour guide on your staff and start my days just like President Truman did. And he told me I could swim and walk all around in the morning, but I'm not allowed to drink bourbon. We put everything right back where it was in 1949.
Harry Truman's Bar.
Around the room, those are our high-pressure air conditioning vents. They were installed in 1991. That's the year it became a museum. There was no air conditioning when Harry was here. Actually, no windows. This was an open-air house. Mosquito screens out by the storm shutters. The cabinets and the table have silver on it. That's called the Admiral silver. Protocol when living in the Navy house, you were supposed to use that silver when you stayed here. Harry was a simple man, came from a farm in Missouri. He did not care much for fancy things like silver. He used it though. There's a grill out in the garden and Harry would personally make burgers and hot dogs on that grill and then serve it up on the Admiral silver, ensuring protocol was met, at least some of the time. There you go. Got a couple of white roosters there in the cabinet. Anybody see any roosters or chickens around here? Yeah. Imagine that. Separate stories. The ones outside, they came with the Cubans when they immigrated. They brought them for food. Chicken and eggs, which is not a bad idea. But they liked to cockfight with the roosters. In 1981, that was made illegal. What did they do? They let them go. Why would they do that? Well, you really don't want to have an illegal rooster. Don't really want to eat a cockfighting rooster. All the Florida Keys are a bird sanctuary. We've been that way for quite some time. Very little we can do. We manage them just a little today. We have a chicken catcher. Works for the city. Some of the excess birds get sent up to mainland Florida. They live life happily ever after. They provide fertilizer on organic farms. We never harm our birds. Don't you mess with them. You get in trouble. It's fine. Using today, we are a 501c charitable foundation, so we fund our museum. If you make a donation of a certain amount of money, you'll be invited to stay one night in the Haley Lassiter Suites as a thank you. We'd love to have you, and well, we always need money. We do get a special guest who stays with us. It's Harry's grandson. His name is Clifton Truman Daniels. He comes down to support the museum. I love it when Clifton is here. He's a very nice man, and he works with the guests when he can. And well, he always buys really, really expensive donuts for the tour guides, so he knows why I can't wait to see him. We don't tour those rooms. We're about to tour 3 more. The last 2 of the 7 bedrooms are in the gift shop. Behind the counter in the gift shop is a 2-room display, which is free to the public. If you did not see it before the tour, make sure to check it out. Lots more than I can cover on my tours. 2 closets, one there, one at the bottom of the stairs. It's where a Secret Service member would sit in the house to protect the president. Only room I haven't spoken of is the kitchen. Behind the stairwell we just came up, not on the tour, modernized. That's where tour guides are between tours. This was a bedroom used by his press secretary, named was Charlie Ross. Over there I got a small statue that's called the maquette. That is the prototype of a full-size statue that now resides in Washington, D.C. Artist is Tom Corbin. I got a bunch of presidential china there. Top shelf from the Ferdinand Magellan train car. That's the train car he gave his speeches on during the 48 election. The whistle stop tour. Next to going down from the USS Williamsburg presidential yacht. One with the green glass is what was used here by the Carters during their visit over New Year's. Bottom one is from Washington, D.C. All except the Carter stuff was used by the Trumans. The picture over there says, Dewey defeats Truman. Famous picture, incorrect headline. How the Chicago Daily Tribune makes such a mistake? They did polling to gather that information. They did it by phone. In 1948, very few had private line phones, and the ones who did were wealthy Republicans for the most part. They had predicted to defeat Truman 3-1. Harry had gone back to Missouri, placed his vote, coming back up to Washington the day after the win of the train, stopped it in St. Louis and handed him that paper. He's got that big grin as he holds it up, and he said, "Ain't that one for the books?" This lady did not have to be interrupted in the middle of the night. The president had to be woken up to do presidential business. Protocol lasted over 100 years, ending in 1974. When Betty Ford became First Lady, she ended the protocol. This bed here was used by their daughter Margaret. President Margaret only came 5 of the 11 trips Harry was here. Did not care for as much in Key West as he did. This was a naval base. No other women on the base to even share a cup of coffee with. Take a look around, take photos if you like. Notice the attached Jack and Jill bathrooms. Then come out to the porch. Careful coming onto the porch. There's a small step coming down. Excuse me. to air conditioning. That's the west, meaning the sun doesn't really warm it up till later in the day. The ladies would do their reading privately over there, and Harry read the morning newspapers back here in the lounge chair. Those high windows are a bit odd. They go into closets. Building was designed for naval officers. They wear very heavy wool uniforms, pea coats. Put a pea coat on outside today, I think you'd want to vent your closet at the end of the day. We're going to Harry's bedroom. Careful stepping back up in the house. This is the president's room, and it looks different. It's red, white, and blue. Decking here a formal White House type room here in Key West. It was a show of respect to the president. Small desk there was only used in the evening for personal correspondence. When Harry and Bess were apart, they would write each other a letter each and every day. Over here in the chair, I have Harry's hat and cane. Harry used a cane long before he needed one, and usually wore a hat. Before he became president, he was a haberdasher, men's clothing store owner. Always well dressed, thought you needed a hat and a cane to achieve that type of look. But Washington suits did not work well here, so Harry and his staff in the press corps, they all changed into their Key West uniforms once they got to the islands. Tropical, loud, or Hawaiian shirts like I wear every day.
There's Harry Truman's bed.
Welcome to the living room. This is where they entertained everybody after a hard day. They did it with that piano, first run movies, newsreels, a record player, and a radio. Now, Harry was a very good piano player. He didn't play it much in Key West, though. He preferred the poker table for his entertainment here. Pictured on the radio was Margaret the daughter. She wanted to be an opera singer. She was doing her debut up in Detroit while Harry was here, and Harry wanted to fly up and see her because he's a good dad. We didn't want him to go. Harry brought with him a staff and entourage of over 50 people. When he had the money they spent in Key West. I had a good friend, name was John Spotswood. He owned the radio station. He switched networks, got a hold of the broadcast for Harry. I'm going to play you a little bit of the broadcast.
Their first nationwide concert broadcast. He was Miss Margaret Truman of Washington, D.C. Miss Truman was accompanied by the President Orchestra under Dr. Carl Fisher.
You guys aren't going to sing along, right? All right. We're not going to sing along, but we're not going to judge her singing either.
This was the sign and the quote that Harry Truman was known for. This was his desk in the main living room area. Here's a picture of Bill Clinton sitting on this couch back in 2005. And outside they have Truman's 1950 Lincoln Cosmopolitan presidential limousine. It said it was one of 9 limousines staged in various cities for use by President Truman.
I've had about all the fun I can stand.
Okay. Now, this was a pretty incredible tour, and I learned a lot about Truman and his time in Key West. And I really didn't know too much about this home before visiting here, if I'm being totally honest. This wasn't Truman's regular home, but a lot of interesting history, and I never knew so many other presidents had visited here. But the most interesting fact I took from this is that this home is still used today, or it's still available for any sitting president to use. So that's pretty cool. But hopefully you learned a little bit something about this video, and as you know, we love presidential history here. There's going to be a lot more coming up, so be sure to check out future videos. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this, but thanks for watching, and have a good one, everybody.